Hey everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Transformers MPG-09 Super Ginrai. You can see him there in front of the box, and you could go ahead and put him off to the side real quick, and you too. And yeah, we'll look at the box real quick, and yeah, it's a big old box because, well, yeah, it's got a big old figure in it. The MPG box right there, you can see. Gotta go even higher. You can see, yeah, of course, the MPG logo, because the MP line is now dead. It's actually ending with Ginrai. Getting a little bit out. But Transformers means, yeah, you got, you know, the two product shots right there, the Ginrai and its 40th anniversary, and T-Spark, because that's the new thing. They're doing Cybertron Commander, and up here you got Transformers MPG with his name and everything, too. On this side, you have him in his truck mode. On this side, you have, hey, look, there he is in his Super Ginrai mode. On this bottom here, some warnings and copyrights and all that stuff, and what's included in the box, or actually what's the materials in the box, and recyclables and whatnot. And on the back here, you have a whole ton of product shots and a little blurb about this thing, including, hey, look, MP60, because, yeah, the blurb, what's included in the box, and all that stuff. There's a lot going on with this guy. So that's the box, and also included in the box, of course, you have the instruction booklet. Hey, they're no longer doing posters, or at least not with this guy. They didn't do a poster, they did a booklet. Hooray, thank goodness. Man, I am so happy because there's a lot going on here. He's not actually complicated to transform, all things considered. It's just there's enough going on here that it's thankfully they put in a booklet and not in a poster style, which is so nice. You also have a card. Yep, nice little bit of artwork. Same one on the booklet as well. The nice artwork right there. And the back, of course, you have some tech-specky stuff. So there's that. And it also comes with a sticker sheet. This is for if you want to go more toy accurate with the figure, particularly if you bought MP60, which, yeah. Yeah, so there's some stickers there to make it more toy accurate if you want to go down that road. I prefer not to, I'm pretty sure. The only stickers I might consider putting on are these ones for the little side window things on the super mode, but beyond that, I'm pretty much not going to touch this thing. That's just me. Yeah. Super Ginrai. Yep, he's a big old truck, and he also comes with a little figure of, well, Ginrai, because that's Ginrai, and that's also Ginrai, because, or it's High Q if you want to be Powermaster Optimus Prime, because, yeah, that's also what a lot of us know him as, in the Western here anyway, but yeah, it's a pretty good looking truck for the most part. The biggest thing I think people complaining about is definitely this. I'll get into a little bit, but first I want to get in close on Ginrai here, which he's generally pretty darn good looking. He's got a little, you know, kind of, well, I guess, flesh-colored face-ish thing kind of going on right there. He's got a little dots picked out. He's got a little Autobot symbol right there, although this was not mirrored at one point, but now it is. You got a little bit of colors bits right there. You got some red, black, silver on the knees. He's got the engine on the back and everything. So, yep, that's sure is a Ginrai. He also comes with a smaller one, non-posing one. See that too. This is a smaller one, which is, I guess, more in scale with the truck, which is, yeah, it's that weird thing. And it kind of is, you know, Transtector pose and all that stuff. And, yeah, that's a cool little thing. I'll bring that back in a little bit. But, yeah, for this guy, posability, there's nothing at the head. The shoulders are on ball joints, but they're kind of limited in a way that they go out that far. They can go forward and, you know, go that far. The hips are also on ball joints. You got that much forward. You got that much back. Outward, you do have all the way right there. Kind of swivel a little bit because of the ball joint. Knee can bend that far, and the foot is on a hinge right there. We can go that back that far and go all the way up like that. So, yeah, decent amount of posability for a tiny little dude, but, you know, nothing, you know, to write home about. He's all right. Put him off the side real quick, and yeah. As for this, yeah, you can see the cab here, which, yeah, this is the cab, which in vehicle mode there is pretty much no difference between this guy and MP60, because MP60 is just the cab. It's the MP60, it's also the last masterpiece, I guess. Is just the cab here, no trailer, but there's a different deco, more toy deco Ginrai. But the cab itself is, you know, you look at it, it will look almost pretty much identical between the two, including the silver stripe and everything. But it's the robot mode where all the differences kick in. But you can see, yeah, he's got the translucent blue windows. You got the silver, the chrome right here. He's got some silver, yellow right here on the bumper and the headlights. That's chromed smokestacks, which I got to bring that up in a little bit. Bring up more about it a little bit. Yeah, you got the blue back here. You got the little trailer hitch. You know, he's got 4 wheels, which is correct. And yeah, he also will roll pretty decently. If the wheels hook up, they'll roll pretty decently. And of course, you got the trailer, which looks like a very Optimus-y trailer. You got the blue striping with the Autobot symbol right there, and there's the gray with the silvery gray with the the ridges down the line. You got a little bit of blue back here, but that's because the original toys like that. You got the wheels back here, also the silver on the hubs and everything. You got this some detailing back here, kind of look like a back of a truck. You guys can kind of see that's just the super mode just chilling out underneath, but that's kind of how Powermaster Prime is. And of course the arms, which the original toy and then the show and the cartoon and stuff, the arms were kind of the top of the arm is kind of more closer to even with this thing, and here they're sticking up a lot. Well, at least a little bit more. Original toy actually sticks up more than I think people remember. But in the anime, basically the arms kind of compressed down, so they're kind of like this. And the problem is, compressing these arms and preserving posability and everything will be tricky, to say the least. You'd have to do some weird shifting slider. It's like it'd be kind of get fragile and complicated. I'm kind of personally, for me, if it was going to be either more anime accurate but more fragile and complicated, or it's going to stick up a bit, I personally prefer this. I don't think this actually looks that bad. I know a lot of people are making a big kerfuffle about it. It's not ideal, but honestly, again, I don't think it's really a huge problem. I don't think it's really that big of a problem. Again, we'll see in the comparisons, but this is actually not much worse than the original toy is. So I'm not really super upset about it. I can understand why people might get upset about it, but for me personally, I'm not something I get upset about. But also, this thing can deploy little things right here. These little kickstands right here, little stand pieces. You can slide, flip these out and stand it without the truck being attached, which is nice. You also have this thing, I guess, can hinge. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty nice overall. Yeah, but getting it reattached and everything. Yeah, that just pegs in right there like that. A couple things, of course, you can do on the truck. This, the guns here, which, yeah, there's not much here. Weird enough, yeah, they're hollowed out, but there's detailing there, so I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. There's detailing, but it's hollowed out. You can plug those on the sides like that, if you want, just like it was on the toy and the cartoon and everything. There are optional pieces for the shoulders, which you can plug in here, but you can plug them in on these there's these little optional pieces for the shoulders. I'll show those off in the Super Robot mode, but you can leave them plugged in right here if you want. But you also have these rifles. Those big old rifles, which just like the original toy and everything, can plug in right here. So you got the big rifles, but also you have the smaller rifles, which, the smaller ones, which are mostly for Ginrai, which these can plug in if you do that. If you want, if you just have Ginrai, not the trailer, these can plug in right here like that, just as storage. So if you only have MP60, that's where they store. But if you have the Super Ginrai, there is a place to store these on Super Ginrai as well, which is, well, on top of these guns. What you do here is these guns have tabs on top of them. And these, you have to unfold the, fold out the handle and then, click into place, so fold out the handle. And there's a little slot right here, right there. And that will just slot over top right there. And now they are stored, which is pretty cool. So, that's a couple other things. A couple other things. Oh yeah, this thing right here. The back of this, these can open up separately. So yeah, for storage, yeah, this is good for storing them in the small parts if you can get their fingernail on this one. Wow, this one is being stubborn. of course it is. There's a little groove here, so you can get your. There we go. Jeez, that was not coming out. Yeah, there's a little. It's not much, but there's little tiny storage spots. You can store some of the smaller things, like smaller Ginrai. I guess these pieces if you want. Yeah, some of the smaller accessory pieces you can get back here. The fists maybe. At least one fist, kind of. These alternate fists, yeah. So you can store stuff back here if you want. So if you want, you can store stuff back there. That's pretty neat. Cause yeah. As for this, you can actually put Ginrai here. This little Ginrai, not the bigger one, not the big transforming one. The little Ginrai here, you see, there's a little tab here, which that's for the cab here. What you do. If you want to, to do that, you want to, open those up by, just getting those open, and then move this forward, and inside the cab, On either side, actually, you can do either one. On either side, on the front of the cab here, there's a slot there, so you can put them on either side, but, you know, I believe it was an American truck in the original series, so we're going to put it on the left side, because I believe he drove on the left side in this series, even though it was Japanese. And you can put that in there, and then close this up, and, you know, re-tab that all in. Now you have Ginrai in there. Now you have Ginrai in the little cab. That's pretty cool, I think. Yeah, by the way, he does, all connected up, he does roll really well and everything, and, oh yeah, the turning radius. I almost forgot about that. Turning radius here, pretty good. It's pretty good turning radius on the connection point right there. So that's all pretty good, all well and good. So yeah, it's. I think personally, you know, I know a lot of people are upset about the arms in the trailer mode, but personally, it doesn't really bother me. Again, it's not too much worse than the toy, so I think this is overall a pretty darn good looking Ginrai. I was very excited for this guy, and yeah, I was pretty excited for this. Yeah, real quick comparison stuff though. You'll see some stuff I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm gonna actually put this one off the side real quick, just to not mess with the camera focus, but because we're gonna compare some Ginrais, the smaller Ginrais. It's weird how this is Ginrai and the cab's also Ginrai. Yeah, getting down here, gonna get some comparisons here. There's the MPG Ginrai. Here is the Fans Hobby Powermaster Ginrai Haikyuu. I don't remember what they called him. Yeah, here's that one. He's a bit bigger. He's a bit bigger, again, for reasons we'll see. And here's the, well, it's kind of original. This is the G1. This is the G1 Commander reissue that I have of, well, it's Haikyuu. Yeah, you can see that. You can see that, the darker, you see that's the big thing, the darker red. That's how the MP60 will be kind of closer to this thing versus this. So, yeah, you can see, yeah, that's the comparisons between these three Ginrais. There you go on that. So yeah, going back up a little bit and getting him out of the way. Yeah, because comparison here is, yeah, a couple comparisons you got to do here. Here's Fans Hobby's Powermaster. If you remember this guy, I've reviewed him a long time ago. Fans Hobby's Powermaster, which is very stylized, as you're probably aware, and also you notice the cab is a lot bigger, like a lot bigger. You can see that, like the cab's way bigger than what's going on there. It's like Ginrai wasn't quite Optimus size, and I'll get more into that in the robot mode too. But yeah, overall, you know, that's kind of, you see that you got this heavily stylized one, it's just significantly larger and everything. The trailers are actually, funny enough, ooh, that's a squeaky noise. The trailers are almost, you know, not quite the same size, but not much. The trailer size is not much different. There's like, how much is it? Like that much difference between the two in trailer length, so not bad. And so there's the comparison there. Yeah, I wish I had the KFC version, but I do not. So sorry, I can't do that comparison. Really wish I did though, because I just want, you know, just because I want more Ginrais. I want more Super Ginrais, darn it. Yeah. Here's the reissue G1. Well, this is Powermaster Optimus Prime, but you know, it's same thing essentially. And funny enough, yeah, the cabs are almost the same size. That's the funny thing here. The cabs are almost the same size, but the trailers, again, the MPG version is longer than the G1 version. You can see again, just kind of showing this off a little bit. Yeah, you can see this does stick up a bit. I mean, blocks the gun completely. But yeah, you can see that does stick up a bit. It's not, again, this one sticks up a little bit more, but it's not as bad as a lot of people would, you know, be led to believe by how people have been reacting to it. It's still not what I'd prefer, but it's not bad all the way. These are cross-compatible with each other, so you can, if you want, swap them around. See, it's totally, so yeah, if you want bigger guns on him, yeah, you can totally swap those around. That's just a kind of a cool little thing that this just kind of popped up, and it's just a funny little thing I know that people have noticed. So there's that. This is actually MP-09 with MP-44's trailer. Hehe. But yeah. Yeah, you can see again, bit of a size difference. This trailer is longer. Again, the cab's bigger, and again, you'll know why in a set, and I'll talk about that a little bit in the robot mode. But yeah, yeah, you can see that. I think, yeah, you can see the cab is, yeah, this trailer is significantly longer. Why are you not tabbed in properly? Yeah, so yeah, this. So there's that. Here next to MP Wheeljack, just because, you know, he does inexplicably appear in Master Force, and well, you just kind of use some sort of Autobot car to give you an idea there. So there's that. And for reasons I'll get into in the robot modes, some people are going to want to know how it scales with generations stuff. So here's Studio Series 86 Optimus, which is, well, almost the same length, but, you know, cabs are roughly the same. Well, the cab is a little bit larger in the 86 Optimus here, but, you know, cabs are almost the same length and everything. So there you go. If it's definitely a contingent of people who are basically want this to be generations, and again, I'll explain that in the robot mode stuff, because that's kind of where it's more relevant. Yeah, it's pretty much the trailer mode in its entirety, or the truck mode in its entirety. So I'm going to go ahead and get this guy transformed into the core robot, Ginrai, and go from there. And also the base mode, I guess. So yeah, robot mode, the core robot and base mode. Yeah, it's a Ginrai. So yeah, hey, look, there's the actual cab on the back there, and there's the fake cab on the front, and it's weird. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, sure, whatever. But I don't care. You're getting in close, you can see. Yeah, and this is the MPG-09. This is the MPG-9 version, not the MP60 version. So it's got the blue eyes. The MP60 version has red eyes, kind of like the toy. Got the outline Autobot symbol. You got the translucent blue window here. You got the silver faux grill. You got the yellow and white there. You got the silver and blue. Got a kind of black venting right here. The blue forearms and everything. And he looks pretty good, all things considered. I'm quite pleased with how he turned out. And as for the base mode, well, you can see, yeah, it looks like a robot just kind of spread out and raising its arms up. It's kind of similar to the G1 version, actually, but, That's similar to the G1 version, including this kind of weird off-center, kind of weird asymmetric window things there. I mean, it's a base mode. It's kind of, yeah, not also on top of that, these flaps don't like to stay tabbed in this mode. These can, I guess, swivel, so can these, but yeah. Really not a whole lot, honestly, about that. I guess if you have smaller figures, they can go with that, or say, have Ginrai doing whatever. Just kind of Ginrai just kind of doing whatever, either version. And so for me personally, the base mode is one of those things like, yeah, after this review, it's never going to that base mode ever again, because I do not care about base modes. But anyway, the core robot here, real nice looking overall. Before we get to accessories, of course, got to talk about articulation, which he's got actually a lot of. Head can go to left and right and go up and down like so, like that. The shoulders can do a full 360 right there. You go outward right here and right here, which is nice. You got a bicep swivel right there. You have a full curl at the elbow. You do have butterfly. You can be seeing that butterfly joints, and you can also untap those, I guess, and go even further if you really want to. If if you want to untab the transformation a little bit. Yeah, the hands down here, at the hands, you do have a wrist swivel right there. The fists can open and close. It's just a single hinge. The waist can swivel. Of course, the thing is you got to watch out for this, because this is one big thing is this guy right here likes to pop out really easily, and right now it's tabbed in, so if I try to move the waist at all, guess what's going to happen? It's not going to do it. All these times it keeps popping out, and of course the one time I try to intentionally pop it out, it doesn't want to do it. But yeah, because it's all it is this little tab right here, so it doesn't take much. He launches pretty good too. You don't really need it in the back, so if you don't really want this in the back, you don't have to keep it there. Some people have found that doing things like, you know, taking the legs and just spreading out just slightly when it's in there, because it tabs in on the sides. You can see there's little nubs, kind of little notches right there in the leg, so it tabs in the sides. And some people have found people found weird different solutions, two different solutions. Either A, taking the arms and kind of spreading them out a bit, kind of, I guess, hugs this and kind of holds it tighter if you'd like to spread the arms out a little bit or something. Hugs in tighter. And other people just, you know, just take the legs here once you got it plugged in, just kind of push them out a bit, and then it holds in way more securely. So just be an FYI on that. I actually haven't had really huge issues until, of course, I started filming. You might see it pop up in the recording. You might see it pop a few times, but until today, I had no issue. So go figure. Regardless, the waist here, you get that forward. You have a swivel right there. Nice waist swivel, only somewhat hindered by that. Of course, ab crunches. Yes, crunches. You got the ab crunch right here. There's, you know, you got quite a bit of ab crunch. There's actually kind of a ratchety thing, and there's a loose one as well, because on top of that forward crunch, there's also, you can see it, a side to side, which is real nice. So he's very dynamic in the posing. The hip skirts, you can push these forward and push those out of the way and everything. Some people have complained about these hip skirts, saying that they're stressing. There are stress marks in there. I'm not having any issues personally. I'm not sure what's going on there, but people have been complaining about stress marks in these hip skirts, but I am having zero issue. Also, you can move the whole thing if you want, which is interesting. That's the button that's supposed to lock everything. So yeah, it's supposed to, without this plug, that's the kind of the locking button for the, I guess, the transformation, supposedly. Yeah, if that pushes in, you're supposed to, you know, lock or unlock things. But yeah, regardless. Yeah, get the hip skirts out of the way. And forward, right there, about yay far. See that? Back, about the yay far. Outward, yay far. Actually, quite a bit of yay far. Fortunately, oh, that's one thing. Is also, he's got that drop down hip thing. So yeah, he can kick up pretty high and outward and everything. He's got that stupid thing though, where it's like, here's a standing stock still, and here's outward one. And it's like, oh, that's the ratchet. There needs to be more teeth in the ratchet. There is a thigh swivel right here. He's got two bent knees. He's got this one. We really enough the lower one is easier to move, but that looks wrong. It's supposed to be that one, but that one really clips in tight. But he's got that knee, which, you know, that's already got a lot of curl, and then, well, he's got that knee for even more curl. See, so yeah, he's got a lot of knee bend, which is real nice. Yeah, they also, these wheel bits have tabs on the front, so you have to kind of, you know, if you want to move those out, you have to move the hip skirt first, then move those out. Well, this side doesn't, like, actually tab in sometimes, which is odd. There we go. So you got a lot of knee bend. But down here at the feet as well, he has a little ankle tilt that far. There is a hinge forward, mostly forward, but it pretty much clicks in. You got forward right there. You got tilt, and the toe can go down if you need that for anything. So yeah, real nice articulation actually overall. The only thing, my only real complaint honestly about the articulation is the big major one is simply the outward ratchets for the hips are just, there need to be more teeth. But actually in this pose he does look all right, all things considered. And the other thing is, yeah, the fact you have to kind of pull this forward in order to get the waist joint to you have to do this to get be able to engage the waist joint. But honestly, not the, and that one's a minor one. My only major complaint is really the hip, the outward hip joints are kind of, also some of these joints are like tighter and loose. Like these are really loose on mine, but I still like it. Now as for accessories, oh boy, he's got accessories. A couple things. One, he's got, well, his guns, obviously, which of course this typical tab and slot, which Now open up the palm of the hand and tab that in and all that stuff. These guns aren't the greatest tabbing wise. They are okay, but it doesn't take much to start knocking them loose, it feels. It's not horrible. It's not like Sideswipe. My Sideswipe horrible, which can barely even hold his gun, but it's not super secure. It's adequate for the most part, but it feels like it could go at any moment sometimes, you know? So there's that, but you know, you can hold those guns. The guns are, you've got 2 blast effects right here. It's hard plastic. These, of course, these are compatible right here, like so. So you can have a big old blasting, shooty thingy going on. These blast effects are also, I'm going to mention it right here. I won't read it. I won't, you see what I mean? That came untabbed pretty easily when I removed the blast effect. Seems to be mostly the left hand. Oh yeah, also because of transformation, you do have a little bit up and down right there. Didn't think about that. Thanks to transformation, you do have it up and down right there on the wrist. Yeah, I won't reiterate this in the super mode, but these are also compatible with the larger rifles. So that real quick. Compatible with the larger rifles, like so. They're compatible with the double-barreled guns, like so. And they're also compatible with this thing, like so. So, yeah, real nice that. Those, you know, these are pretty nice blast effects, nice hard plastic, and they look good. They look pretty good too, overall. So we got those. We still got these effect parts as well. You know, the rainbow lightning. But I believe, okay, one thing, I believe these are actually compatible with the tabs on the inside of his hands, somewhat. Yeah, these are yeah, see, you can tab them on the inside of the hands, like that. So you can, I guess, shoot lightning. Or you can actually remove this bit right here, and this will also plug into any of the guns, like so. This will also plug into any of the guns. So that's an alternate blast effect you can use if you want. And this already also can spin, so you can use either way. You can orient them. You can orient them how you want, so that's pretty neat. Yeah, those are pretty cool looking, actually. I like those. Not sure how I'm going to use them, if at all, but hey, they're there. So, yeah, that's it for this mode, compatibility stuff, all those accessories. I'm gonna compare the base modes real quick, just because that's the one nobody cares about. But yeah, and that's what I'll have to kind of deal with a little bit more. Stay. Hate that. Yeah, comparing the base modes. The fans hobby. I could not for the life of me remember how to do this one. I just remembered it was kind of weird and different, and yeah. Also, since the last time since I reviewed this thing, a lot of pieces have gotten a lot looser. But yeah, you see, it doesn't take much for that to fall down. You can see there's the base mode differences. Way different base mode. These fans hobby took a lot of liberties with the base mode, and also caused me a lot of headache when I couldn't remember how to do it. And here he is with the G1 base mode, the G1 ratio anyway. The thing here, wow, the stickers are starting to peel. I need to see if I can get new stickers eventually. Yeah, the thing with those guns, the double-barreled guns, the peg holes are covered by stickers. I don't want to tear the stickers, so yeah. Regardless, there's the 2 base modes. Yeah, you can see, you can really see the, you know, the whole thing with the, you know, G1 versus this masterpiece here. They have the very similar thing going on. So there you go on that. Yeah, there's base mode comparisons. Get this out of the way here, and then oh, there we go. Yep, there go the guns again. Untabbing themselves. That's what I mean. See, they didn't take much to untab those. So yeah. So here's Ginrai. Here's the MPG Ginrai. Now here's the Fans Hobby Ginrai, and you can see. Whoa, hold up. There's a bit of a discrepancy here. Why is he so much bigger? This is the thing I was talking about. So there's a bit of a perception about Ginrai here. A lot of people assume Ginrai, the core robot, would be, well, this size. This is the same size as, you know, your G1 MP, right? This is roughly the same height and everything. Thereabouts. Why is he leaning on one side? Come on, dude. Come on, don't be like this. You weren't doing this before. Whatever. Gonna have to figure that out later. But yeah, you can see, yeah, there's a height discrepancy. People were assuming, a lot of people would assume that Ginrai would be the same size as, well, Optimus or Convoy. The third parties assumed that. Fans Hobby did this. I believe KFC's Raijin is slightly taller. It's like a little bit taller than the MP right here, right? So like, what gives, you may ask? Why is he so much shorter? Did they change the scale? And the answer is no. In the Master Force cartoon, or not, yeah, Master Force cartoon, Ginrai was actually the same height as your typical Autobot car guy, particularly like, Wheeljack and whatnot. He was actually a little bit taller than Wheeljack. He was not convoy sized. He was the size of a carbot. So this threw a lot of people. A lot of people don't realize this because they think, oh, that's basically it's his Powermaster Prime, so he should be this height. But he's not. This is based on the anime. This is based on the Takara version, which is Ginrai, not Powermaster Prime. This is Ginrai, so he's this size and not this size. So this is properly in Masterpiece scale. This is not some weird new scale thing. So he is properly Masterpiece scale right here. You may not like it, but it is correct. And speaking of Carbot, yeah, again, of course, here's a Wheeljack who inexplicably appeared in Master Force. So yeah, this is actually pretty close to correct. This is a lot closer to correct than a lot of people want to believe. It's like they basically go, it's Optimus Prime. He should be tall. He's not. He's Ginrai. Remember that. So this is actually close to correct. So he is still Masterpiece scale. And again, just because. So yeah, this is the other thing, which is this is why I kind of brought him up earlier, which is because a lot of people are going to assume that basically this is my Powermaster Optimus Prime. They're going to want to be Optimus Prime size. So this means for a lot of people, this is basically going to be a really kind of fancy, kind of out of place Generations thing. So here's Studio Series Optimus. Which, so if your whole thing is he's Optimus and not Ginrai, I guess Generations is where it's at. So, there you go. But of course, one final comparison, here he is with the G1 reissue, which is funny enough, roughly a little bit shorter in the robot mode. He's, has got his... Yeah, because, you can see he's just a wee bit shorter than the robot mode. The G1 is, so yeah, there's all that. So I think Ginrai here, again, the core robot is, particularly if you're looking for MP60, this is fantastic. I'm actually thinking about buying the MP60 on its own. It's still widely easily available at this point. This is not, I'll get into that, but this is a really good core robot to the point I just kind of almost want to I kind of think about having him like separate. I'm thinking about getting MP60 Ginrai just for the sake of having a separate Ginrai robot when I have the Super Ginrai as well. So overall, it's real solid, and I really like it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and get these all set up for Super Ginrai, and we'll keep doing this. Alright, so, Super Ginrai, getting to, I think I mentioned this before, none of the transformations are actually particularly difficult, like none of them are, there's nothing really particularly difficult about any of the transformation stuff except for the thing with the smokestacks, and I want to bring that up real quick, so I'm untransforming for a little bit, just keep that in mind. So, the smokestacks. There's little tabs See that? Little tabs right here. People have reported multiple people have reported breakages on these. Basically, either they crack or they crack, or they outright snap off. That seems to be people are putting the legs on and then trying to readjust, make major adjustments to the lineup to get it into here. I have not had a single problem, personally, but some people have preemptively just snipped off the tabs or shortened them down, because honestly, the tabs aren't really necessary for this. They're just kind of more of us guidance tabs, because once it's in there, you don't have to worry about those drooping down or anything once it's in the thing. As it stands, yeah, you see that? That's pretty much the proper alignment. These are supposed to be slightly downward like this. These are not supposed to be a 90-degree angle. I remember I saw someone going out there claiming that it's supposed to be at a 90-degree angle. That is not the case, or perpendicular, it's supposed to be perpendicular to the leg. This is not the case. You want this at slightly more than 90-degree angle from the leg. You don't want it perpendicular. If it's perpendicular, it's not going to be quite lined up. But yeah, also, so yeah, make sure to bend both knee joints before you tab that in. I mentioned that in the transformation video. I'm going to reiterate it here because, yeah, multiple people have had problems with the tabs cracking or breaking or stressing or whatever. I have not, but I've been careful. Just be aware that once you are committing to tabbing this in, do not make any major adjustments. I have made very, very tiny micro adjustments, but nothing severe. So yeah, once you got the legs tabbed into those smokestacks, do not make any major adjustments to the alignment. Because, yeah, if you do, there's very much a high chance you're just going to straight up just break it. And you do not want to do that. Again, it doesn't really affect anything if it does break, but it is a little bit disappointing. So just be mindful of it, and you should be good to go. As long as you're mindful that that's, about those smokestacks, you shouldn't really have an issue. It's just, yeah. So overall, yeah. So, but getting in, close here, you see Super Ginrai looks real good though. Now getting past the potential breakage. The head sculpt, at least one of the head sculpts, looks real good here. You got the nice blue eyes here. You got this, all that stuff. You got the little silver crest, the silver faceplate, and all that stuff. You got this stuff right here. You got the Autobot symbols right there in black again. You got again the chest windows. You got these. This is where those stickers I was thinking about putting would go. He's got the white crotch plate with the red and blue in the center. You got the silver thighs, the blue and stuff, the gray down here. This seems to be a common issue. This side, if you notice, this thing is not sitting properly. This one is sitting flat. You see that? That one's sitting flat. This one is not, unfortunately. So it seems that to be a common issue, unfortunately. Yeah, that seems to be a very common issue. But the other common issue is apparently sometimes apparently there might have been a last second change which causes this to not quite sit flat. There's like a plate in there or something that causes this to not sit flat. It's not a huge problem, but it's something to be aware of, I guess. It's not really affecting anything. Also, the other thing people are having issues with is the head platform likes to not quite sit down flush. But it seems like if you press on this and this part at the same time when you're putting it down, it should be good to go. That's something to be mindful of as well. Yeah. Overall, he's got a few minor issues, but thankfully, I think what was it? Something on this with this thing right here. People were shaving something down. I'm trying to remember what they were shaving down specifically. But people were shaving something down to make that sit properly. I'm trying to remember what it was. Yeah, it's I think right here. Some people are shaving out. I think it's the common belief is that this tab right here. I believe that's what people are shaving down because it seems to be causing it to sit funny. Yeah. So I think if I shave that, I think if you save that down that tab, this right here will not happen. But yeah, I think still overall he's still really good. I just got a couple minor things which are easily fixed or avoided. Yeah, overall it just looks really good, and he's also pretty posable. His head, like the left and right, you got up and down. You do have up and down right there. There's actually a whole separate hinge just to make him look really far down, so you can really look at the fact, wow, he's got a really big chest, doesn't he? So you got all that right there. Shoulders are ratcheted and go all the way around like that. You have outward right here. This can get out of the way right there. More outward, and you go pretty much that far outward. You got a butterfly joint right there, which is real nice. You got the bicep swivel right there. He's got the elbow bend, which goes that far forward. It's real nice. The hands, you do have, swivel right there. You do have the swivel right there. This is also a hinge right there. It's kind of tight, but there is a hinge right there. Thumb is on a hinge right here. There is no up or down. There's no other movement other than this hinge. And the fingers right here, you got, you know, they got a hinge at the base and a hinge at the mid knuckle, and the pointer finger is its own separate thing. So you got, you know, that hinge, and then these all hinge right there like that. So you got all that stuff right there. As for the waist, unhindered, nice and clicky right there. You got that. You got the ab crunch right there, which mine, I could have sworn someone said it was supposed to be ratcheted, but mine's not. So I'm not sure if it's like, if it's just mine's. That's the other thing. This does not like to stay tabbed in either. Yeah, you got that. The waist is, you know, waist and ab crunch are pretty good. The hip skirts do get out of the way on the front and sides. Not really on the back though. But you know, you got clicky hips going forward that far. Go back that far until they hit the back. Outward you have full splits, pretty much. You have a thigh swivel right there, the knees. Nice deep curls and also nice exposed detailing right there. Down here at the feet, you do have one click. Well, kind of. It's weird. Some people seem to have 2 clicks, like that. Yeah, there's mine. That's got 2 clicks. Seems to be only on the one side though. The other side doesn't do that. And it's also kind of scary. Like, that's loud. I'm kind of worried that's actually breaking something. But yeah, it seems to be intended to possibly only have 1 click. So again, with the stance, you know, you get them a nice little stance right there. And there you go on that. Go ahead, platform back on where it's supposed to sit now. So that's the articulation. As for accessories, again, the larger rifles, what you do with those is you fold out the handles right there, and then of course you got the tabs and slots and the hands. The slots are kind of weirdly far forward. You might have saw that earlier, but yeah, they're at the knuckle itself, which is some people are kind of not really happy with, but you know, it works. I'm personally not having any issue with it. Not really. This is actually much more secure than the one on the core robot, so I'm pretty alright with it personally, but I don't know. It's way more secure than the one on the core robot, so there's that. So you can hold those rifles, and again, of course, the blast effects are still compatible with those, like I showed before. Same with the rainbow ones, and the rainbow ones are also compatible with these hands. You can see there are the rainbow lightning blast effects are compatible with these hands. You can also unpeg if you're not careful. Like that. So you know, you got that whole thing going on. Now, of course, these can plug in up here, like, you know, like they're kind of smokestacks if you want. You can do that. Or, again, I talked about them briefly in the truck mode, but the little triangle pieces right here, these little wedge pieces, these can also plug in, because there's a couple scenes in the anime where he didn't have these. Instead, he had these extra long shoulders. They'll just plug in the same way. So, you know, just like that. Which, that's one way you can look at it. It's alright, but I personally prefer these. So, but, you know, you can do whatever you want with yours. These are just going back in the box. It's kind of just a neat thing, like just a little touch of like, hey, yeah, it was different a couple times in the anime, so, you know, if you want to change things, you can. Of course, this one just came right out. After I said it tabs in better, what to do pops out after I mess with stuff. Yeah, I personally prefer that look. You can use these ones still if you want. You can still use the little guns. There's also a hand swap feature. Because these are the more anime accurate, you know, the blue hand with the actual red fingers, and there's also the alternate just completely blue hands if you want, and those are pretty simple to swap out. What you do is you got to open up this piece right here and get this piece open right here, and then what you do is you just, yeah, right here, you just slide that out, and then you can just slide this part in. Could be a little stubborn. I know the blue hands seem to be real stubborn about sliding in and out. Real stubborn about it. They don't like to slide in and out as nicely as the red and blue hands. There we go. Yep, so do that if you want, so you can have a completely blue hand. Let me just get out of the way. You can have a completely blue hand if you want. It's got the same exact articulation and everything, same exact articulation and same exact slots. There's no difference on that front. Again, for me personally, I'm going to go with the these hands, but you know, again, if you want to go for more toy accurate, there's your option right there. So there's that. And he's also got a couple of alternate heads. You got, again, more toy accurate red-eyed head, which is like this, and you got the more stylized anime head right there. And those are very easy to swap. You just, you know, pull that off the front and then just slot a new one on. I personally prefer, I'm going to go with this head for sure. I like that head a lot, and that's one I'm going to keep on there. But these are not bad. There's nothing wrong with these at all. But when I'm looking at them, I just really like that one personally. So yeah, that's that whole thing. And where'd it go? And there's also one in the final accessory, which is stand adapter, which this just, well, right here, there's 2 pegs, or actually 3 pegs right here, and they plug in right here on the back like this. And then that can go on your standard MP stand, or in this case, the Lunar Cruiser Prime stand, if you want. Like so. And that just plugs on. So you can do that, and that works just fine. Any of the MP stands will work just fine on, and which in this case, if you collect MP, you probably have a couple of these now. At least. So there's that. Get this thing. Only thing is, this thing is kind of a pain in the butt to actually get off the back here. I have to kind of sit here and wiggle it forever. A little scared of the peg snapping. I do not want that. Yeah, it goes in there real tight. There we go. Yeah, everything's fine. So. Oh, one last thing I did almost forget to mention: if you want to store the guns away, you can store the big guns back as well, and I guess also little guns if you don't want them holding them. The peg holes back here, you have multiple peg holes, but yeah, you can just peg these in back here if you want, and of course you could also peg in the big ones and tap these on top of those if you want. So that's one thing. There's gun storage back here on the back if you want to. You know, I almost forgot to mention that. Yeah, you can store the guns on the back right there. There are four 5mm holes right there. So there you go on that. So yeah, that's Super Ginrai's robot mode as a whole. It's really good. I genuinely like how this guy looks. I love how he plays. I love how he transforms. It's a nice, simple transformation, which isn't too involved. It doesn't take a million years to go through. Doesn't feel like I'm fighting. The only time I feel like I'm fighting it is possibly getting the core cab into the slotted in, but that doesn't take much to that really doesn't take much either to deal with. So got that. So yeah, of course we got to do some comparisons. Yeah, I'm just gonna do a completely different order. Whatever, you don't care. There's MP-09 just to give you an idea on that how much the height increases between Convoy and Super Ginrai. There's that height increase. So there's that. And here he is with the Masterpiece Wheeljack, just to give you an idea there. Of course, just because, again, some people are doing the generations thing. There it is with Studio Series 86 Optimus. Just to give you an idea of generation scaling. Here he is with Powermaster, the fans' hobby version of Powermaster Optimus, which just came undone as I plopped him down. Yep. It's funny because, yeah, then the core robot is significantly. He's only like a head or so taller, even though the core robot is so much bigger than the other core robot. So, yeah, I know KFC's is like way taller. And again, I might get that at some. I'm trying to see if I can get that at some point, but I'm not gonna, go nuts trying to get it. And of course, finally, here he is with the G1. Well, again, this is the reissue. The Hasbro reissue. The car reissue, apparently the blue plastic is so brittle that it's basically gold plastic. But yeah, again, even though the cab robots are the same size, the super robots big discrepancy there. So that is Super Ginrai as a whole. He is a wonderful figure in my opinion. He's got his flaws, mind you. A couple things not staying tabbed in. The smokestacks tabs kind of be a little scary. And yeah, that's pretty much really it. And for me personally, just that's a couple things to watch out for. Just a couple tabs are a little iffy here and there, but as long as you're aware of what to look for, what you're aware of, as long as you're aware of the problems, they're really easy to mitigate or avoid. And I think he's just genuinely a really good figure. I've really been looking forward to this one. I was really excited when they announced him. I'm just really happy that this thing exists. If you just want the core robot, you still can get them. It'll cost you about $100 for the core robot. It's MP60. But MPG-09 will cost closer to nearly $300, somewhere in the neighborhood of the $270 to $310 mark, depending on where you buy it from. And the thing is, he is selling out like everywhere. He's really popular. He's like all the Japanese websites, all the Japanese stores have sold out of him. The domestic places are starting to get him in stock, but again, that's going to be like a $310 investment for this guy. So he is not cheap. He is good size. I think he's a lot of fun. A lot of people are going to scoff at that price and just pass immediately. But I still think he's a good, solid figure, and I still really like him, and I do not regret getting it personally. But I can understand why a lot of people would be driven off by the price of him. But yeah, on top of this, there's also, of course, God Bombers coming later this year. That'll be what was. I think it's going to cost like $150 or something like that total if you get it from Japanese retail. So I'm really excited for that. They also already unveiled the Nucleon Quest Convoy, which is basically, hey, black. So I actually want that too. So yeah, that's also a possible option down the line. I'm going to try to get that if I can. Hopefully, I don't think it's going to be mall exclusive. Hopefully it's not, because that's going to be fun if it is. But as a whole, I just really like this figure, and I think because it's got a good size. It's got a fairly simple but fun transformation. It kind of harkens back to the days of stuff like MP10. Much simpler. It's still anime accurate, but way simpler, and it's just a lot of fun to just go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. The only thing, again, to watch out for is the smokestacks, which, again, easily mitigated if you know what you're looking for. But if you're willing to spend the money, I don't think you'll be disappointed, personally. But especially with God Bomber coming, that's going to be real great when that shows up, and I'm going to really have fun with that. Of course, it's not your only masterpiece option. There are two others, Power Baster for heavy stylization, Raijin, KFC's Raijin, if you really want an alternate take on an anime accurate Super Ginrai. But yeah, it's just good, and I personally think it's worth picking up. So that's it for this review. I hope you found it informative and entertaining. Hope you like, comment, subscribe. Check out my social media. It's down in the description and at the end of the video. Check out my coffee and my Patreon. I shall see you next time with another video review.